I'm from New England and I love lobster in summer, so I decided to make lobster risotto. You're gonna need a big pot to salt these bad boys in. These lobsters were both about 2 pounds each. With that said, you don't need to get the lobster that weighs more, as that doesn't directly translate to more meat. The key to cooking with lobster is not to overboil it. I usually prefer to steam my lobster, but unfortunately I didn't have that option with the pots and the constraints in the kitchen that I was working in. There are a lot of tables that you could use to figure out how long you should actually be boiling your lobster based off of weight. I'll link that below. One of the best uses of lobster shells is to make a nice stock with them. It doesn't take too long, and it will provide an excellent umami sea flavor. And in the spirit of using live animals, I think it's best to always use as much of the animal as you can. You can make a similar shellfish stock with shrimp tails. I usually do this if I'm making paella. All you would do is take those shells, roast them in a pan, add your water and a little bit of garlic, and you're good to go. You can also add a little bit of vanilla and some tarragon to really bring out the sweetness of the lobster. I also like to throw in whatever scraps I have for stocks. One of the keys to making risotto is really to have all your ingredients prepped. So I have everything prepped here. One of the primary rules of thumbs for making risotto is 1 cup of rice to 4 cups of stock. It's also very important that you toast your rice. So before you add any liquid, make sure it gets to that nice golden-y color. And I'm trying a different technique this time by putting the onions in after. That way they sweat out and really become emulsified in the sauce almost. And this is that golden yellowy color that we're talking about when we're talking about toasting rice. A crucial step is to also add some white wine. Make sure that you really boil off all the alcohol. That way the flavor of the alcohol doesn't get into the risotto. And so next you're just going to add your stock in slowly once you've boiled off all that alcohol. I tried to keep my risotto really dry this time to see if I could get the perfect texture that I was aiming for. I also was going to make some asparagus on the side with some lemons and salt. And then one of the things I did after I did the asparagus was to throw in the lemon and just grill it over too as well. Asparagus is one of those sides you can easily knock out very quickly. I also made a lobster ghee, so I took ghee and then just heated up my lobster in it. Therefore, the butter would really get that flavor, and we could use it almost like a flavoring oil for our risotto. Unfortunately, I feel like my risotto came out a little too soupy for my taste. I was hoping to really get that dry risotto rather than like the typical creamy normal one. Though I don't showcase it, if you really smack the bottom of the pan, you can flatten out the risotto that way. There are 2 reasons you would do this: to prevent the rice from overcooking and for plating purposes.